I'm going to get started so we can all be all ears. So CNN once referred to Caroline Mutoko as a firebrand, and she has lived up to that definition in everything she does. At 25, she was a trailblazing female radio anchor, the first of her kind. At 28, she was running the radio station. Caroline Mutoko is a pioneer in many areas. She thrives in the vortex of creativity and breaking barriers. She lives for the challenge of doing what many like to say can't be done in life, love, and work. The ability to push boundaries, establish a new normal, and make it work is something she loves to do, and she does it so well. Don't we agree? Yes. She's a philanthropist who believes in sustainability and focuses her efforts in the areas of education for all children and empowering women. She claims SDG 5, gender equality, as her very own. As she spreads her wings beyond her native Kenya and East Africa, Caroline Mutoko seeks to be the voice that tells the African narrative on the global stage, and also the person you can call upon when you're seeking a contact on the continent. Caroline is a One Young World Ambassador, an international panelist and moderator for the United Nations and other leading world forums in East Africa, New York, Moscow, and London. Born in Nairobi, Caroline Mutoko has lived her life out loud, quite literally, on radio and now on digital media. In Kenya and East Africa, she's a well-known media proprietor, sought-after keynote speaker, panelist, and moderator. She's also a budding entrepreneur. She believes that relying on your best strengths yields tremendous outcomes, and has re-engineered her life by asking herself, if my life was a book, how would I want this story to end? I think she deserves a standing ovation as she comes to stage.
So I want to talk about three things, and they are all in one. It's change in a way you've never imagined it. It's legends, because there are none in this country, and where you fall into that place. When I was doing appraisals for my direct reports earlier this year, I told them, if this year ends the way it has started for you, you have failed, I'll fire you next year. And I want to say the same thing to all of you. Because here's the truth. This year will not end the same way for anyone. Something is in the air. And sometimes I believe cosmically, and because time does require it, change happens. And if you were looking for a chance to be different, it's now. So long as you understand what is happening now is one thing. Change is a horrible word for it, so I'm going to call it disrupting. And I'm not interested in disrupting businesses. I'd like you to disrupt yourself. Because this is a fact of life. You will disrupt, or you will be disrupted. Please believe me, it is better when you disrupt yourself. It's reinvention you're going to do. It's about challenging your own success. You're going to have to beat your best. You're going to have to beat your best. Because if you don't, some kid who's 24 is coming after you. I'm going to give you a checklist for the brave, because this is not for the ai mi siwezi napenda pale niko kapo tu. And I'm going to say this, you're going to need to abandon some ideas you've held for years, but some of you are so young, so you haven't really gotten stuck in the mud. This is your time. Let go of the past. Let go. Woo, let go. You remember me sitting there thinking, 22 minutes past 7, this is Kiss 100, let go. Because if you don't let go of the past, it has a way of being a shackle. It literally holds you like this, okay? The problem with the past is, it's a great teacher, but it's a horrible master. What happens is, you continue to stay in a space that was nice. I remember there used to be a joke told about this little bird who was sitting in the snow, freezing, and this bird comes along and poops on the bird, and the bird stays there. And his friend says, why don't you get up, go shower in the cold water, you'll feel better, and you won't smell so much. And it's like, but it's warm. Please don't be comfortable in warm I need you to let your imagination go crazy and stop thinking like us, people like me. I'm 92 years old. I just drink good water, a lot of it. But honestly, and I say this every time I see young executives who are coming, they try to think that the only way I'll make it is if I can mirror her. No, don't. In fact, don't even mirror me. Look at what I did right and then break it and rebuild it. Because if you do that, you're on your way to something big. Encourage courage, okay? especially those of you who came here with your workmates, those of you who lead teams, you must encourage courage. Leaders need to encourage courage. And among yourselves, if your friend is saying, I want to come off air, my girlfriends were like, you want to come off air? Okay, we'll buy you a drink. Because by and large, and I think I've said this before, you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. My friends, if you're with those people of Missy Juisikopana, otherwise, you're those people. You're those people. But if you are with people who are like, you know what, let's do this, let's jump. That's where you need to go. You're going to have an idea. It's going to be crazy. It's going to even scare you, and that's the one you need to go for. But you've got to be around people who encourage courage. Do the opposite. Most people who zig when everybody else is zagging do better. But you see, as a generation, a lot of you want to be different, but like all my friends, how cute are you? You've got to dare to be different. You got to. Money doesn't disappear. It just goes somewhere else. Okay? Traditional media about 6 years ago lost just whoop 30B. It just moved. And then one day we woke up and realized Dugush has it. Caroline has it. You're like, when did that happen? You wake up and you're like, Allah? Put yourself out of business. Now, this is one for most organizations. How many of you run an SME of any kind in here? Wacha. Wadosi now. You've got to be willing to put yourself out of business. And you know why? Because if you're not willing to, somebody else will do it for you, and then you'll be on Facebook and buyer beware. Inchi kufanya biashara ni kujidanganya tu. Inchi reject limits. When you're disrupting spaces, people tell you apana lakini unajua hayandangi hivyo. Let me tell you, classic case of rejecting limits. That South African called Elon Musk. I think for me, the first lesson in rejecting limits is when I was hired at KISS. I came straight out of Capital, where on a good month, I think we would celebrate things like, 10 million, 12 million. And Patrick Kwaku and William Pike are like, no, we should be aiming for 20. And you're like, where's the money going to come from? What are you talking about? But remember, by the time KISS launched in this market, it was the 14th radio station. William Pike and Patrick Kwaku came from Uganda, where they were already at 45 radio stations, and there was still money to be made. Okay? This idea that there's only so much has to die. There's only so much to go around. There cannot be any more. Wanna bet? I mean, do you think Elon can make more money? He just, by the way, paid these guys 44B. Told them, go. Get out. And then they were, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. They were never going to make that kind of money, because I think the monetization model for Twitter hasn't really taken off. So I don't really believe they were going to do any better. But here's the other thing I learned when I was in school. When I was in school, Zuckerberg had just bought WhatsApp. I think it was 18. Can somebody just Google that for me? It was 18B. So we were all like, see, you just download the app like the rest of us. But he bought a potential problem. Somebody in his team told him, "Iki tutakuja kukusumbua." He bought it. He hasn't monetized it yet, but all of you have business accounts. He's waiting for you. Reject limits. Eliud told you that you're limitless and you didn't hear him. So maybe you'll hear me. Reject limits. Don't let anybody tell you you can only do so much. I think that is a poison in itself. Don't let anybody tell you that. And the last thing is, aim beyond. Don't let the past be your present. There's too many people who say, unajua, me, when I was in high school, kina nani walifungwa nyana. And then, shut up. Somebody else's bad business model doesn't have to be your future. And you'd still be amazed at how many people today are running really successful hair salons, in spite of the fact that Mama Nani in Buru, the one that opened near your house, died. But she wasn't running a business. She didn't have systems. She didn't have anything like that. But you need to do your research, know your data, and be very clear that no matter what it is these people did, you can go beyond it. Go beyond. Too many of us replicate. So we're like, our jug is better. Why? Because our lids are pink. No. You got to go one beyond, whatever that is. So for me, the reason I was really happy that Sharon, gave me an opportunity to speak here is that I was like, oh, the right people, because sometimes when I'm speaking, I can see the room is looking at me like, you crazy, okay? In this room, I haven't had that look once, other than from her. And it's because you understand, because you have lived it and seen it, that it is possible, that you can be bigger than you ever dreamt. And all you got to do is say, you know what, let's go. But this year is not going to end the way it started. Who I was in January is not who I'm going to be in September. Whoever is going to be sworn in, by the way, we're happy for them, but can they do it quickly? We have things to do. I am very much like, guys, I'm like, do you know, I'm like, I will pick you guys up in July. By the way, nobody should tell you who to vote for. If you want to go into the ballot space, and then cancel everything, do it. Politicians are smart. They're like, Apana, if you vote for Caroline, Hajulikani, so it's a wasted vote. Yes, it's mine. It's mine, and I will do with it what I damn well please. But do something with it. Also, you guys, final thing, can you be kinder to each other? Please. You're so mean to one another. If today she runs for president, her cabinet is in this room. She's not going to come looking for me. I'll be like, who are you? Who let you out of high school? I'm not working for her. I mean, I could, depending on the salary. But you guys are each other's people.
So my question to you is not at a point that you are where you are or who you are, but my question is coming to you because you've experienced your generation, millennials and Generation Z. Is it really necessary for someone upcoming to really get a mentor, or a coach is just enough?
A coach, yes. A mentor? A coach, yes. You need to get a coach. And what I find is, I remember people used to like, will you mentor me? I'm like, why do you need me? I'm like, you need somebody in the industry you're going to. A person who's never been where you're going cannot give you directions to that place. Okay? And I think for the longest time, the only thing I saw was, since you're known and you're, you've got a profile, can you mentor me? And I'm like, to do what? Okay? So you've got to be very clear about what sort of mentorship you're looking for. And sometimes, by the way, it's not your entire life. You're like, I just need to manage money. And you look for that person for that reason.
So my question is, how do you disrupt when you have like limited finance, or sometimes you feel like you have limited options? Thank you.
That's a brilliant question. Look, I am a very big believer that what you're seeking is seeking you. Okay? What you're seeking is seeking you. Joel Osteen, for all his problems, please find his YouTube video where he says, whatever follows I am will come looking for you. Whatever follows I am will come looking for you. I'm tired, I'm broke, I'm awesome, I'm making it, it will come looking for you. And it's not just manifestation, it's because of your mouth.
The main question to you is, I as a person, how do I approach and work with corporates?
I think one of the biggest mistakes we all make is thinking that your first big deal will come from Coca-Cola or Safaricom. Biggest mistake. I want you to establish yourself and they will come. But it takes a minute. And I think if you do your work and it speaks for itself, they will come. But I think one of the worst things, and I know you're a microwave generation and your coffee is instant, you do not have a percolator. But no, it will never be the big one. But when it comes, it comes. But it's based on what you have delivered for the small ones, for betting companies, for money lending apps, yes, they too are considered corporates.
Thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate you.